An Iranian couple is going public about how a BC business charged them a fee to come to Canada, which is a violation of the rules of the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. The couple says once they got here, there were no jobs for them, and they were expected to pay the company more money in order to stay. Kathy Tomlinson is in Vancouver with more on this story. So, Kathy, what was this couple told about what they'd be doing in Canada?
Well, as you said, they're from Iran. They're actors. They expected, based on a contract that was signed by Parvaz Film Corporation, which operates here in BC, they expected that the husband would make $70,000 a year on a 2-year contract doing feature films in Farsi. Now, this company does television shows and feature films for the Persian community here. The couple thought that not only would the husband have a job, but Parvaz also told them that the wife would have an open work permit so she could work here too. It was going to be their ticket to good jobs in Canada and a path to permanent residency.
Immigration fraud. Immigration fraud. Iranian family, the family from Iran, which is this family came from Iran, and one of these people they were actors, Iranian actors, based in Malaysia. The wife is called Armenian, and her husband Payam Bahati. Armenian and her husband Payam Bahati. They were working in Iran. They were actors in based in Malaysia. The company, which is known as Parvaz Film Production, which is based here in Vancouver. They are Iranian nationals based in Vancouver, Canada. They are Canadian, operating photograph companies and a travel company known as Payam. This company, it brings foreign workers in Canada. That's what we are going to talk about today. Afro Political Communications and Consulting International, Public Relations and Communications International. Yasin, the founder and the president. Today I am talking about Canadian immigration fraud. People who use the opportunity in Canada to gain money, they are violating the system of Canadian immigration. That's why we are here today to talk about this. Is it unethical someone to use the Canadian, to misuse Canadian immigration policies? Is it right? It is not right. Now, this family, Payam and Armenian and her husband, Mr. Payam Bahati, they were Iranian actors based in Malaysia. The company, which is known as Parvaz Film Production International, which is owned by Mrs. Sultan and her husband. Sultan is the founder of this company, Mahichi, or what you call just Majid Mahichi, and Mr. Majid Mahichi, and his just wife. They are based in Iran. They decided to do to open up this business, and then with the intention that they're gonna do something very beneficial here, and then the contract was signed, and then after signing off this, the contract, everything was done just in papers, following the procedures of the immigration process. But what happened here? This company, Parvaz, which owned by Sultan and her husband Majid, they signed a contract, a 2-year contract, with Mr. Payam and his wife Armenian, to transfer them from Malaysia, where they were acting, to come and play, just produce a Farsi or Iranian movie in Vancouver. And that contract had to cost 70,000 Canadian dollar. I repeat this statement. Mrs. Sultan and Mr. Majid Mahichi, who are the CEO and founders of Parvaz Film Production, which is based in Canada. This company is allowed in Canada to hire foreign workers to come and work in Canada. This year, this company went into a contract, signed a contract with foreign workers, Iranian, who are based in Malaysia. These people were actors based in Malaysia, and the husband is known as Mr. Payam, and his wife is Aminian. They were supposed to come to Vancouver to produce a movie in Iranian Farsi language. This is very clear. Let us look at the immigration laws and the government of Canada. What does the government of Canada say about hiring foreign workers? There are a lot of opportunities in Canada, as you know, Canadian dream. Canada is a multicultural country. It welcomes every person to come and realize the Canadian dream, to enjoy these opportunities in Canada. But if you are bringing a person in Canada, you have to take responsibility to take care at least 2 years. But this time, Parvaz Film Production, which owned by Sultan, they hired these people. Instead of bringing them from Malaysia to Canada on free air ticket, they charged them 15,000 Canadian dollar. This is the point that I was trying to drive on. Mrs. Sultan and her husband, Majid Mahichi, under their company, Parvaz Film Production, they charged a foreign worker or foreign workers from Malaysia, Iranian Malaysian, to come to live in Canada and work for them on a contract for 2 years. And just in order to facilitate everything, they charged them 15,000 Canadian dollar. Was this acceptable? This is not acceptable under the Canadian legal system, immigration legal system. And it is a violation of Canadian migration policies. The penalty you have, it is a criminal charge. This is a criminal case in Canada. You are not allowed to do what? You are not allowed to do this. You cannot allowed to do this. You are not allowed to do this in Canada. That's why if you do such kind of criminal activity, you are charged by the government of Canada under Immigration Act, which prevents companies to violate the immigration policies. So at this time, Mrs. Sultan and her husband, Majid Mahichi, they violated Canadian immigration policies. How do they violate these policies? They are allowed, as a company signed with the government of Canada, to hire foreign workers to come and work in Canada. That is acceptable by law. But you are not allowed to charge these people before you give them a job. Charges, okay, charges, it is acceptable, it is normal. But these foreign workers, when they reached in Canada, there was no job. There was no employment for these people who were hired by Parvaz Film Production. The company is based here in Vancouver. Vancouver is the best place on the earth. In Vancouver, there is a variety of employment. There is a lot of employment. Every year, the government of British Columbia produces thousands, tens of thousands of employment. Even 2016, there will be over millions of employment to its people to live a better life in Vancouver, in British Columbia. But it is very wonderful, it is surprising, and it is unacceptable to believe that a family came from Malaysia, an Iranian family, which was brought by Parvaz Film Production to come to work for them under the contract in Canada for 2 years, and they were promised to be paid $70,000, but the money was not where to be seen. There was no money to be seen, no employment to be seen. That's why we have decided to come to inform the general public, avoid immigration fraud in Canada. If you want to be deported back home or to be charged by immigration laws, immigration policies, do not accept these fraud companies. Parvaz, today I declare as the president of Afro Political Communications, I want to inform the general public of today, Canadian government and the international community, that Parvaz, they are not supposed to go away with it after violating the Canadian policies, immigration policies. That is one. Two, Parvaz, they are not allowed to victimize, to injure the immigration policies. They have injured, they have damaged the government of Canada, they have deceived the government of Canada, they have conspirated with immigrants to give false information, which damages Canadian legal system, which damages Canadian immigration legal system and the immigration policies in Canada. This is not acceptable. And this action, it has damaged these families. The families had money, they were living at least a better life in Malaysia, but you promise them employment. The employment they are available in Canada. Canada is a multicultural country. Everyone is free to live anywhere. There is a variety of employment. I myself, I came through donation. The government brought me here. Everything is free. I enjoy everything. I have a job. I have money. The money is available in Canada. Money is available. Employment available. But it is unbelievable, Parvaz Film Production, to go and give false information to the government of Canada. This company damaged the government of Canada, and it damaged the government of Canadian immigration laws, immigration department. They signed and accepted Mr. Payam and his wife Aminiani to come to Canada on the argument that they are coming to work for Parvaz Film Production as foreign workers. Foreign workers are category of immigrants which are acceptable to come to Canada in case they are hired by other companies signed with the government of Canada. So this is why Payam and his wife Aminiani, they were acceptable to come and realize the Canadian dream. What is understandable to this family is that they gave $15,000 to Parvaz Film Production. Parvaz Film Production, which is based in Vancouver, they processed everything, logistics, to make sure that Mr. Payam and his wife Aminian arrived safely in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, which is very true. They arrived safely. But also it is unclear why this family, when they reached in Canada, they were not given employment. This is a lie. Parvaz Film Production, they lied to the government of Canada. And it is not only the government of Canada, but even the immigrants. That's why I sent direct message to immigrants that we live in what we call Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Ubuntu is an African word, which means that sense of humanity. We should respect the sense of humanity. We should not violate the rights of others. If you wish better life for yourself, you have to wish it to others. This is what we call Ubuntu. In Canada, we live in Ubuntu. Collaboration. If you see your friend smile, if there is someone suffering, help. But this help should not violate the immigration laws, should not violate the laws of the government of Canada. That's why we say Ubuntu in Canada. To be polite to others, to respect others within Canada and across the international boundaries. So, Parvaz Film Production has violated the rights of immigrants, and not only violating the rights of immigrants, but damaging the government of Canada immigration policies. Now, what happened when these people were hired? There was no job. Mr. Payam and his wife Aminiani, they were given only one day employment. They went to work just one day since they live in Canada. They went out of money. There was no money. There was nothing to survive. Right now, they live under the, what you call social disability assistance. They are assisted by the government of Canada. The company which brought them, they are enjoying, they are happy, they went away with it. Are we going to accept this type of behavior in the Canadian legal system? Are we going to accept this under the government of British Columbia? Or we are going to accept this, that these companies, fraudulent companies, going to bring migrants from home and they leave them that way to suffer? We are not going to accept this. Afro-political communication is, we are here to disseminate, to produce and disseminate the messages. We are here to protect people against fraud. Now, what is going on today is that Payam and his wife, they decided to go in the media. They went and find a lawyer. The lawyer opened a case against Parvaz Film Production Company. They should compensate the damages. Now, what I want you to, the listener, the viewers of my videos, do you accept these families to suffer the injustices caused by Parvaz Film Production? Do you accept other companies to violate Canadian immigration policies? This is what we want to hear from our viewers and the subscribers of our videos. Afro-political communication is Yasin, the founder, and so we provide news local, provincially, nationally, globally, internationally, so that we can create change and we live into what we call the better world, where everyone is free and safe. This is what we call Ubuntu. We love each other, we respect the rights of others, and we should not leave others to suffer. That's why in Canada we call ourselves multicultural society. We love you all the best, and we wish you all the best. Thank you, and let us see these other issues around the world relating to immigration policies are safe. Everyone, if you bring your friend, if you take a company, if you give employment, if you promise someone a job, you are bringing this person to realize a dream in life. Some people, they do mistakes. You go on Facebook. You go on Facebook and you do this way. You start communicating on Facebook. You look for employment. Of course you get employment. But look, try to find out what type of people are they giving me a job. Even you companies, you are bringing people from other countries. But you find out, do self-analysis. This is my advice. Point number one, going to the immigrants and to the companies bringing immigrants. Point number one, gather the information about someone you are bringing, or gather information about the company which brings you to Canada. That is point number one. Point number two, actually do what you call negotiation. Phone, take a mobile phone. Skype, now they are free. We have internet services, social medias. Do research about the company which brings you to Canada. And then after searching this company, or about the individuals, the immigrants, the foreign workers you are bringing, then talk to them. This is, we call it negotiation. Negotiate. What type of job do you have? I have this type of employment. What type of salary are you paying? I pay this one. Where am I going to live? What kind of people? What type of a society? Do everything before. If possible, consult Canadian immigration. They are very nice people. Canadian immigration, we call it Citizenship and Immigration in Canada. They are very excellent, highly professional and trained workers. We love them so much. They brought me to this country. They brought me here. They gave me everything, every opportunity. Ask them, I want to go to Canada, but what this company, such and such company, want to take me to Canada. How safe it is? How smart are they? Are they real people or they are just scam? Then you'll get better advice. If you don't call Canadian Department of Immigration, call my company, call direct number Afro Political Communications International, or call my company Afro Public Relations and Consulting Communications International. My telephone number is +1 604 355 4434. +1 604 355 4434. And then I will be able to answer your questions as much as possible. Don't bring your friends, don't bring people in Canada, in Britain, in London, in Japan without any job for them to do, without any work for them to do. If there are jobs, try to make sure that first target the employment, find the shelter. We have a lot of shelters in Canada. Salvation Army, Neighborhood International. We have ISS, Immigration Service of Canada. We have Mosaic. We have Work BC. All these agencies, they will be able to find the right procedure to follow and advise you what should be done in order to make sure that the people you are bringing to Canada, they live their dream. That's why we call ourselves Canadian Dream Multiculturalism. We leave you with this statement that love your neighbor as you love yourself. Ubuntu. Ubuntu, sense of humanity. Let us create peace in the world. Love one another. Let us follow the procedures and the laws of the country. Parvaz Film production has damaged the laws of Canadian immigration, the laws of the government of Canada. Parvaz Film production gave false information to the government of Canada and the policymakers, which they used unintentionally to sign the document to bring Payam and his wife Aminiani to Canada, unknowing that they are going to suffer unemployment. Don't you think that Parvaz Film production should write an apology to the government of Canada and the immigration department, and begging pardon to the entire Canadian, because Canadian people, they want everyone to feel happy. That's why we request this company and all those people who practice these unlawful procedures, behaviors, asking a lot of huge chunks of money, dollars, to bring foreign workers. First of all, you have asked this person large amount of money, huge amount of money. You have promised to give them false promises, and you dumped them in Canada for nowhere. Another problem that Parvaz Film production, after charged $15,000 to Payam and his wife, Payam started complaining that there is no employment. I'm suffering. I don't have any job. I don't have any employment. You promised me job, but there is no any employment. This is what they did, the solution. Okay, Mr. Payam, we are going to charge you more extra, $1,200 for taxes per month, taxes, and we shall give you forms for refugee status, to claim for refugee status in Canada. This is another mistake, and this is another fraud. You have used an immigrant unintentionally to claim refugee status in Canada. He came as a foreign workers, or they came as foreign workers, sorry, but now you did not give them what you promised them. You gave them wrong information for them to lie, to cheat the immigration that they are refugees. This is another criminal case. This is another criminal case which should be opened against any company acted like a Parvaz Film production. You failed, which means that this company, under following the right procedure, it should not be allowed to practice registering and bringing people in Canada, because first of all, they failed their research. They could not find employment for these people, and they told them to lie, the immigration that they are going to give them jobs, and then they had failure to find employment for them. They told them to lie that they are refugees. Finally, Mr. Payam and his wife Aminiani, right now they are in huge dilemma. Their life is in danger. They cannot go back to Iran because they have already appeared in the media. The government of Iran does not allow these people to practice or even to produce movies in Farsi language. In case they attempt to go back to Iran, they are going to be sent to jail, even to be killed. All these damages have been inflicted or caused by Payam, has been caused by Parvaz Film production. Therefore, we call Canadian government, the British Columbia government, and the immigration of Canada to be aware that even though you are not aware, they are scams. They are scams. Most people you trusted most agencies you trusted to help you to provide employment to foreign workers, to change their life, to change the lives of other people. These people, they misuse this opportunity for their personal interest. And we, people who believe in Ubuntu, this is violating what we call Ubuntu, sense of humanity. These companies should be checked and make sure that collective actions should be created against these companies. Parvaz is among these companies. Avoid fraud and live better life in Canada. We love you. We wish you all the best. Thank you.